Hey guys, just a quick question. When's the last time you actually filled out a check or a deposit slip at the bank? The answer may be rarely or never. For me, it was never. Now in the day of mobile and direct deposit, people just aren't going into the bank. They're not doing a whole lot of paper stuff. But today, I'm going to show you how to properly fill out a check and a deposit slip. So we'll start with the check. Let's just do a scenario. So you have to write a rent check. Your landlord is very old school. He wants a paper check and you have to address it to him. So the first thing we're going to do is write his name, and you would put this in the pay to the order of line. So let's say your landlord's name is John Doe. So we'll just put John Doe right here. So now nobody but Mr. John Doe can do anything with this check. The next thing you're going to want to do is write your numerical amount. So here, right by this money sign is where you're going to write how much your rent would be. Let's say it's $500. So you will write 500, and then you will write the cents. In this scenario, it's 0. So you may be thinking, is this all I have to do? The answer is no, there's quite a bit more. So your rent's due on the 1st of the month. You want to make sure you write the date right here. So let's say January 1st, 2020. So now you've got your numerical amount, you've got who it's payable to, and you've got what day it's available. And down here, you may be thinking, what's this line right here? Well, I'm about to tell you. This is where you will write the written amount. So you will write out the word $500. And you're going to want to make sure you also include the cents in here. But for this, you can just write 0 over 100. And that implies that out of this, there is 0 out of 100 cents that goes towards this. So you've got it written, your landlord sees it, you know, it's written to him, but what is he gonna do with it? You have to sign it. So this is where you would sign your name down at the bottom in this bottom right-hand corner. You'll just put your signature. What's this over here? This is what we call a memo line. So the memo line is where you would put any type of, like, what the reason for the check is. For this, you would write rent, but you could write birthday, credit card payment, anything like that. This is just basically what the check is for. So we'll write rent here. So now, all Mr. Doe has to do is he will sign the back of the check, and then he could deposit it. And that leads me to our next point, which is our deposit slip. So deposit slips are a little bit different than they used to be in the sense that they're pretty modernized. So say Mr. Doe wants to take this and he's going to deposit the check that you just wrote him. So we're going to put the date, which we said was January 1st, 2020, in this little spot on the left-hand side of the page. It says date. And then we're gonna write how much the check is for. So in this scenario, it's 500. So what we'll do is we will write 500, and then we'll write the check number. If you'll look back at the check number was 1025. So right over here, and I'll show you in just a second, you're gonna write 500 and 1025. So let's say Mr. Doe, he wants some cash. You know, he's gonna do a little bit of grocery shopping. He wants some cash back. Well, what do you do? How do you do that? He would first sign right here underneath where he wrote date. So I'm gonna just forge a signature, which you shouldn't do. And then he's gonna want 100 back. So we would write $100 right here where it says less cash. So less cash is the cash you're getting back. And underneath that, we would subtract 500 from 100, which is 400, and that would be his total deposit. Now, I'm also gonna write something else here, which is the subtotal. So if you had multiple checks, you would do the checks right here, and your subtotal would be the total of all checks combined, and that would go right above the less cash line. So this is what your deposit slip should look like when it's finished, and this is what your check should look like. So you may be asking me, Riley, what are these numbers on the bottom of the check? I see them all the time. What are they for? I'm going to tell you that too. So this number, the farthest to the left, 1025, you may notice it's up somewhere else. That's your check number. Each check has a different number. So this is important for if you were to need a stop payment on a check where you send a check off and it was never received, so you know to call the bank and tell them, hey, check 1025 was not delivered and I need to cancel that check. Now the next number over here in between the faces is what we like to call them, is your account number. Your account number is like a driver's license. So your account number is unique to you. No one else can use it but you, and you need it to do almost any bank transaction. This number, the farthest to the right, is what we call the routing number. Your routing number is, so your bank may have one, but some banks that have lots of locations may have up to 10. Your routing number is normally 9 digits, and it is essential for you to set up any type of direct or mobile deposit. Another thing I'd like to mention is that on these, sorry, I closed too early. On these numbers right here, you should never give these numbers out to anyone, because at this point they could do bank transactions on your behalf and potentially take over your account. In conclusion, you may not do it frequently, you may never do it, but it's important to understand how to write a check, how to do it properly, and also how to fill out a deposit slip. Thank you.